I got the horse right here. The name is Paul Revere.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Randy Golding, our special guest today from the Daily Racing Forum. Drew's on assignment, so Randy is filling in quite graciously. Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Pleasure to be here. It's always a fun time, and it's a great card to look at to start with.
It is. We got stakes races galore. I can't remember the last time we had this many stakes races on a Friday night program.
We've never had
this many. But, let's get right into it. We got 8 races. I'll start things off. The first race is the BC Cup Distaff. Kind of a light field. We only got 4 of them for the $50,000 price tag, or $50,000 purse. Going a mile and an eighth. I ended up on the 3-horse Locket. I think the extra 16th of a mile is going to help Locket. I think the 9 furlongs might hurt horses like Dawsalina and Touching Promise. So I'm going to try maybe Locket to win it. She was a fast closing second behind Arabella's Muse last time. The connections of Arabella's Muse have chosen to skip the race and prep for the next one prior to the Ballerinas. So I know all these fillies and mares are pretty happy to see her gone. So I went Locket over Touching Promise. Not much between them. And I put Amber Moon in for third. I think she'll be better second time out back at Hastings. She'd been running down in Pleasanton and Golden Gate prior to that. So actually all 4 fillies are in with a chance. So yeah. There's not much that separates any of them.
No, I think the shape of the race hurts Locket. You know, she does the best running late. There's no real speed other than Dawsalina. Dawsalina, I think, is going to go out
Promise
there.
Might go.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to.
She has to not go hard because she has to get 9 furlongs still.
She's going to stalk, and we know she can stalk and win as she did last year in the Ballerina. But I think this Dawsalina coming up, it's her 3rd start, in her current form cycle. I think she's coming up to the race well. And looked like, she ran a pretty good race last week. I mean,
on BC Cup Day.
On BC Cup Day, where she broke on top. Looked like she was going to control the pace, but all of a sudden Arabella Muse, boom, went by her like she was standing still, and Pedro elected not to engage in a duel.
Move.
But I think in this case, he's going to the front, and I don't know who's going to run with her. Touching Promise, I actually, even though she finished behind Locket, I picked her second over Locket just because of the shape of the race. But really, it's a 4-horse field, and like you said, there's not a lot of value.
No, there's no value.
And it's wide open.
But just the 9 furlongs is why I went. I went 3, 4, and 1, and you're going to go to Dawsalina to win the Friday opener.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4.
2, 4, 3.
2, 4, 3.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Well, you can start off the newest Minster, 2-year-old Colts and Geldings going 6.5.
And this is actually a very good race, wide open. I think it's wide open. I went with Stands in Command. Very impressive debut win in the BC Cup Nursery. He didn't break bad. He just didn't seem to get going right away. But he finished full run to get up to win by half length over Fear of the Cat, who's in the race too. But I also, I was very impressed with Rock Concert.
Yeah, that broke his really
first time out for Jon Snow. His damn concert music was an excellent filly, and he looks like he's got a great future. He's by Rosberg, a great sire, and so I think he could win it. And one of the interesting horses is Groot.
Yeah, no, he was going to be tough that day. He already clipped heels and went down.
He might have won the race, but you can't say for sure he was going to win. I don't know if he was better than Stands in Command, so it's hard to say. But he came back with a good work, which I was happy to see because he didn't know how he was after he clipped heels, went down.
Randy also clocks horses in the morning too, so he gets good information, gets to watch workouts, which certainly helps.
And he looked good, but he looked good going into the race too. So I'm glad to see he's okay and coming back. But I like Stands in Command was just very impressive, so I'm sticking with him.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't put Stands in Command in the top 3, but this is a race where a lot of them have a chance, and I went to Fear of the Cat. I like no disrespect to Savici, but Savici to Hamill is a pretty significant change. This horse just got beat by Stands in Command. At least the horse was close to the 21-4, 45 flat, and then still finished. Where Stands in Command and Groot were taking advantage of the dynamics of the race, which are really fast. And I just thought Fear of the Cat ran a huge race, and I'm going to follow him back. I put Dashing Dawn in for second, undefeated. I can see him winning. I mean, this horse is all right. Janine Smith rides again for Nancy Betts, went down to Seattle. That's a real professional when you can go down and change tracks and still win, and paid a good buck as well. And Rock Concert, I agree. I was pretty impressed, as everyone was, watching him debut, winning off by 9 lengths. The time wasn't super fast, but it was the way he did it. He looked good the entire way. Groot Route is interesting. Stands in Command, of course, for the Scots. That was great to see them win, a stakes race. Rob Scott and his wife were. I know they were all. I was talking to them after the race. They're all smiles, and which is great. I mean, they dabbled in like golden ratio. Like they've had a lot of. You want horses to be good horses, but they end up maybe being $5,000 or $4,000 horses, and they've unfortunately had a share of those kind of horses, and they've had Spirit River this year and Stands in Command. So it was great to see them win a stake race, but a lot of chances.
Yeah, definitely. My only worry about Fear the Cat, he's on the rail.
Yeah, it's a tricky spot.
And it's tricky for him. For a speed horse, it's a good spot, but he's, and he'll probably be up close to the
I think
pace.
he's going to be laying third behind the 6 and 7, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Around there. But,
yeah.
But I went 1, 6, and 7 in the newest Miniature. Good race. Both Randy and I agree. There's a lot of nice youngsters in the field, and
an excellent car.
But you can go a lot of ways. There's some good little value in race number 2. On to the third race. This is the Hard Rock Casino for 2-year-old fillies, going 6.5 furlongs. See Eau Claire is definitely the horse to beat for Don Denard and trainer Greg Tracy. Did defeat Snuggles last time, and I'm gonna try Snuggles on top. This horse did have an outside draw last time. I think it's going to show a little more speed. The horse was like a mile back, just green first time out, and was closing well at the end. CEO Eau Claire was not quitting though, but both those horses were running well. Those are your 2 horses, 2-3, 3-2, whichever way you want to see it. And I put Texas Alley Cat in for third, but I went Snuggles maybe to break a little better and not be so far back.
Right, she broke okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she broke bad. She broke okay, and very similar to Stands in Command. Just was feeling, not quite sure what was going on.
Job the first eighth of a mile.
But she came running. There's no question. But I went with CU at Eau Claire.
Yeah,
just because, and similar to why you like in the early race, the tactical speed.
Yeah.
We know she has it. She's used it twice, and I think unless Texas Alley Cat makes a lead here, she might have an easy time up front. So. But I agree, it's a 2-horse race, and I picked Texas Alley Cat third just because you had to pick somebody third. But it sure looks like a pretty safe exact, and with that sweep 6 carryover.
That's right, too. The pick 6 starts. The Sea to Sky pick 6 starts in race 3. There's a $13,348 carryover going into the race. So $13,348 to be exact for the Sea to Sky. You got to be the only winner, though. You got to be a solo winner to get the jackpot. But you still, if you get 6, you do share part of the.
Yeah, it usually pays pretty well.
Yeah, no, it still pays pretty. I
don't think you need.
That starts here in race
I don't think you need more than 2.
No, you don't. I think you're good. You're good with 2-3. On to the 4th race. This is the Richmond Derby Trial. 4th stakes. Wow, we got stakes action galore. Mile 16th. This is the final prep for the talented 3-year-olds before the rich $250,000 BC Derby in mid-September. I've gone to the 1 Bluegrass Angus. How can you not? He's been, since the blinkers came off 2 starts back, he's been absolutely sensational. Chased a 45-2 opening half, 111 for 6 furlongs, and the horse kept running. It was just an impressive performance. I put Berard Breeze I put in for second. I'm going to give this horse another shot. Made a premature move against Aditya last time and flattened out, but he's a horse that has some upside, I think. It was only his 3rd career start. He was changing distances. I thought he ran a very credible race. Aditya is very live as well, but I just thought Berard Breeze has some upside. He finished a couple lengths behind Brother Duster, who I know a lot of people will have in their top 3. But Berard Breeze, I think, has some upside. He just made a big, wide, early move. Wasn't rating as well. Maybe second time out going long, he'll be better. But I do like Bluegrass Angus. That's your horse. Aditya, for me, is in play, too. I went 1, 4, and 3.
Well, I agree with Mike. Bluegrass Angus is a horse to beat. But he's been off for a while.
That's the one. If you're going to beat him, this is. And if the Connections are going to lose a race, I know they wouldn't mind if they had to lose one. Let's lose this one. Because he had to skip BC Cup because he wasn't a BC bred, so he's been off a while.
And they didn't want to ship him because he's he's got some emotional issues, shall we say?
Yeah, he's quirky. So he didn't want to go to the Canadian Derby. Yeah.
But he looks great on the track. But he was in the paddock the other day, and he got a bit wound up. So that's the key. I mean. I noticed his first race, he was completely wound up, and he finished second here at Hastings. And then he came back, he looked spectacular.
Blinkers off really helped him relax, I think, too, in the paddock as well, because the whole thing is like that was a good move by Craig to change equipment.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite moves. Speed horse, blinkers off, one of your best bets around. But I think before you make your final decision, take a look at this horse on the track. See how he looks.
If he's overamped,
if he's a little bit washy, it's not that big a deal. But if as long as he looks like he's settled and happy, he's going to be tough to beat. Aditya ran a big race first time going long. I like the way it sat off the speed instead of being the speed. And that's the question. I'm not sure how this race is going to unfold with either Bluegrass Angus. Maybe he'll go right to the front.
I think he will.
Because the other speed is Aditya. I don't see any
No, the
other
other
real
ones are.
There's not a lot of other
don't
speed.
hold me back. No, there's nothing. That will
Yeah, so,
pressure.
and I agree with Broad Breeze's horse with
It has some upside.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a stranger to get an exactor, I just think that's the one that may have some.
Yeah, and he's looked good in the mornings. And Brother Duster is, he is what he is. And if the top two get hooked up early, he could pick it up. He can win this
Brother
thing.
Duster's in good races.
He's really for 16,000. Nice claim by Taylor Anderson for $16,000.
Very good for Ken Johnson and Taylor. Yep. But we both agree on Bluegrass. I think it's going to be awfully tough in the Richmond Derby trial, the final prep before the BC Derby. On to race number 5. This is the start of the late pick 4 on the Friday night program that gets underway at 7 o'clock. This is a starter allowance race for horses that have run for 5,000 or less this year. And the distance will be 1 mile and an eighth. And I ended up on the 2-horse Tapacero. I had a lot of trouble. Bluegrass Pride is definitely a big question marks around this horse.
Huge.
He's taking a significant drop in class, and he's being offered for the 5,000 because he isn't eligible unless he runs for the 5. Honestly, Ossifer dropped down to, I think 2, 6, and 11 are your 3 horses. I went Tapacero on top. I was really impressed with the way he finished in the race. I know I do lose Amadeo Perez to the 11 horse, honestly, Ossifer, but I still, Alex Marty's been riding very well. I thought Tapacero might appreciate the extra ground and could get a pretty good pace in here. We got Proxy Man stretching out. Peyton's Best likes to show speed. I'm not looking for a 47 opening half in this race, but
Yeah,
I mean,
you might get it. You might get it.
With After Court likes to be up close, and honestly, Ossifer has speed. So I mean, and Bluegrass Pride likes to be. I just think Tapacero gets a great pace to run at. Might have some value with Alex Marty on it. Might get 6-7 to 1. I'm going to go 2-6-11.
This is the toughest race on the card
11
by
horses.
far. But just it's wide open. The favorite, and I'm sure he'll be the favorite, is Bluegrass Pride. Always 8-1 on the morning line, but I imagine he'll be the favorite by post time.
He'll be the
he this is a big drop. I know Rosie Anderson very well. She wouldn't lead him over unless everything was fine. So I'm assuming everything's fine, and if it is, he should win. But there might be some other things that prevent him from winning. But he's definitely the horse to beat. I was really impressed with Peyton's Best last time. He looked like he was done at
tough.
Well, it looked like he was done at the 3/8 pole. And I know the horses.
Ganby and
they bolted. They got taken out of the race.
Uncle
Will and
one
one of the uncles.
One of them. Anyway,
bolted.
Bolted and
But he came back. He wasn't like he inherited. He came back
he was
running.
fighting 9 big
He
trouble
came back,
all the way to the wire.
and so that was an impressive race. So I think he'll get a lot of that. And he's mile 3 down to mile 8 should help him. And I like what it showed me. He didn't have to be in front, so maybe they can let him stalk. We know who's going to be in front, and that will be where'd he go?
Honestly, Ossifer and Bluegrass Pride both will be near the.
Proxy
Man's going to be.
Proxy Man's going to be the one in front. He's the one with all the speed, and he can carry. He probably carry it this far. So, how the race sets up is going to depend a lot on who wins the race. Yeah. If Proxy Man gets out by himself, he could be gone.
Yeah, no, I left him out of the top 3, but that could be a big mistake. I mean, speed, and
I went with him.
If other horses respect him, then he.
I like him more than honestly Ossifer because he's got the 11 hole. He's going to have to go, but he's going to have to go, and Proxy Man's probably going to go. So there's right away, and Peyton's Best could sit the perfect trip, but it's a tough one. Even a Bluegrass Man, he could be coming late, and.
A lot of bluegrasses today. Good. Bluegrass and Angus.
Keyshawn Balgobin's riding, and anything he's on right now, you better take him.
I know. He won 7 in a row last week.
Right.
That was cool to watch Keyshawn win a whole pile of races in a row. But
my only knock with Tapacero is he's going against multiple winners, proven.
Yeah, he was in a restricted race.
Non-winner 3, coming off a non-winner 3. This is a big step up for him.
Yes, it is.
But it was, like I say, it's a big race. But
yeah, who'd you end up on?
I ended up with Bluegrass Pride.
Bluegrass Pride. So Randy's going to go with the 6. I'm going to go to the 2, Tapacero, but it is a contentious race and a pretty tough start to the late pick 4. On to race number 6, got some $4,000 non-winners at 2, going 6.5 furlongs. I just see a pile of speed in here. I ended up on the 8 Nana's Buddy just by default, just because I think there's going to be some collisions on the head end. You got Flame Eternal, who's fast. Clear to Victory is fast. Crackdown is fast. Typhoon Taylor wants to go. Samilkami Luke wants to be up there. I just see a congested front end, and I just see Nana's Buddy getting maybe a nice gravy trip. Is she the best horse in the race? Probably not. But the dynamics might help her win tonight. So I'm going to go Nana's Buddy over the 5 Crackdown. I'm going to put the 4 Clear to Victory on the class drop in for 3rd.
I see it the same way. Nana's Buddy, the race is going to set up set up for him perfectly. Second start following the layoff. He had a big race the first time back, and he's never really run a bad race. Throw out his debut in the slop. He's never run a bad race. He comes every time, and this is a rider upgrade.
Yep.
Antonio Reyes.
I would say that's a bit of an upgrade.
An upgrade. So I think I like him a lot. Yeah, I went with Crackdown, who's a big mystery, dropping from 25 down to 4. He is a 3-year-old, so it's...
The barn has been known to do this in the past, and they do well with it, and
sometimes
there's
yes.
no value there, but I mean...
sometimes yes, sometimes no.
But you're guaranteed to get 3 to 5.
Yeah, so I went with him second, but of course I give a shot to be part of it is Flame Eternal. Blinkers off, we talked about that earlier. A speed horse is it's a good thing. He got hung out 3-4 wide going in the first turn, couldn't clear, got hung out. He's kind of the inside speed, blinkers off, gets in light with the apprentice Morales.
This kid looked good. That Morales looked good.
He does look good. So I think he might, he might
seasoned for a bug boy.
Spice up the old
that'd be good.
exotics. And he had a good record in Mexico City.
But yeah, it was a good little race. I think we kind of agreed. Nana's Buddy and Crackdown are your 2 horses, and throw in Flame Eternal for a bit of a shot. On to race number 7, the Hong Kong Jockey Club, going a mile and a 16th. Final prep for the BC Oaks for the 3-year-old fillies. They're going to go a mile and a 16th. Field of 5 signed on. Wish we had a little bigger field, but I ended up on the 3 Ambleside Park, Randy. I just think I like the 4th place run in Seattle. That Bell Hill's a really nice filly that won it for Larry Ross, and. It looks like Morning Coffee and Ceiling for the Sun might just duke it out a bit, and Ambleside Park could pick up the spoils. And I think obviously the contention is the 1, 2, 3. I mean, Morning Coffee looked so good winning in her debut here. Earned it, went some fast fractions and ran on. I mean, she's a legitimate horse. She's your favorite, and she should be. And she is the horse to beat. Sailing for the Sun ran a much better race last time. She had a couple of subpar performances after her impressive maiden score, but she seems to be back on the rails and going better. And Ambleside Park, as long as that coming back in 2 weeks doesn't, because it's about 2 weeks back for Ambleside Park, which is a little quick, which may hurt her a bit. But I just see Morning Coffee and Sailing for the Sun maybe getting into a little bit of a pace squabble, and Ambleside Park picks it up. I went 3, 1, and 2, but I didn't love any of them. I think they're all 3 quality fillies.
I agree, and Ambleside Park actually looked great this morning when she blew out a quarter.
Oh, good.
So I don't think the 2 weeks is going to hurt her. And I agree with you that this could. It looks like she's coming around too.
Yeah.
That was a good race.
That was a really good race. Those are nice fillies.
Well,
they have
a
stronger 3-year-old filly division, I think, than we are. Or at least the one.
They have the one. That filly.
That Bell Hill race. She's California good.
I was kind of hoping she'd nominate for our Oaks, but she didn't. This is a shame. But very nice filly. She's out of a Canadian champion, Sealy Hill, and they paid $250,000 for her as a yearling. But I went with Morning Coffee. She was
she's the horse. I agree.
She was so impressive.
I can't fault you there.
She came out of the first turn 3 wide, and Pedro, I don't think he wanted to be in the lead. She just dragged him. And the only other speed in the race really is Sailing for the Sun, and she's not as fast. And I don't think they want to send her, because why would you?
They got to get the trip. And they relaxed her last time, and Jeff rode a good race and got second to Quatre Cat.
Right.
No Quatre Cat in here, but no, she's live as well. But Morning Coffee's your horse. I agree, but it's just I'm trying to pick something.
Right.
I'm trying to get 3 to 1 out of a race that I probably shouldn't even be trying to pick a 3 to 1 winner, because the 4 to 5 shot's probably maybe untouchable.
And it's a 5-horse field, but
there's not much that can outrun Morning Coffee, and if anyone does, it's Ambleside Park, I think.
I think she has her issues. She's had gaps in some of her races and works, but I think she worked good. She had 2 good works coming into this effort. They kind of give her a little break. Do you see that?
And Rosie does a great job. Rosie she has a great day. She has Dosseline in. She's got Bluegrass Pride. She's got Morning Coffee. That's a big day for Rosie, our girl.
Maybe like Tim Rycroft last week in Alberta when he won the Canadian Derby and 2 other stakes.
Yeah, that was cool for Tim.
Yeah, it was very cool.
But anyway, I went to Ambleside Park. Randy's going to go to the 1 Morning Coffee. On to the 8th and final. This is the BC Cup Classic. The Classic was actually a couple of the BC Cup races were moved from BC Cup Day, and they made them BC bred or owned, and certainly helped pump up the field size in those races.
It was a good move.
It was a really good move, and it helps when you get the big crowd, and we need big handles. And it was nice to see both those races were filled up very nicely. But still, the straight BC breds get their shots tonight, and this one in the Classic $50,000 stake race. I went to the Juan Brass and Gold. He's been beaten by U.S. breds in all of his races. Square Dancer, Modern. Before that, Mr. Bowling and Modern. And he's just a cool horse. He's just a cut below the top there. But I think against BC breds, he's going to be awfully tough to beat. I think the 1 1/8 suits him nicely. He won this race two years ago, back in 2013. he's a 1.125 horse, and he can run this far, and I like him. Herbie D might be a 1/16 of a mile far for him, but he's still, you got to respect Herbie D. He's a quality horse, and Rob's managed him beautifully. I put him in for second, and I put Wildcat, who I respect, at the 9 furlong distance, in for third. I mean, I think those are your 3 horses. I went 1, 2, and 6.
They're definitely the 3 horses. I went with Herbie D.
Yeah,
I think Cowie Creek is the only other real speed.
It could mess him up a little bit,
but I don't. He's not that fast. He's not as fast as Herbie D.
And he doesn't. He still has to protect himself.
And I watch The Apprentice, who's riding Morales is riding. He's not a kind of rider that sends hard. He's sort of he kind of sits on it. So I don't think there's going to be. I don't think he's going to go after Herbie D. I think Herbie D will sit the trip. You just sit there and set the kind of fractions that he's going to be very comfortable with. And when he does that, he's a real tough horse to beat. And I don't think the 1.125 is going to be a problem. The only time he went that far was in the Derby, the BC Derby. This was only his 4th start. He went 45, and he wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready for it.
He went crazy fractions, and he was coming off. He didn't have the best pre-race, pre-derby routine.
It was rushed. It was a rush.
And he ran a credible. That was his only poor performance. Right. Really, one of his only poor performances of his career.
And I picked Brass and Gold second.
He's the honest. He's the top honest horse. Is he as good as Herbie D? No. Is he that far behind Herbie D? No. Not at this stage of their careers. Right. But if the 1.125 gets to Herbie D, Brass and Gold likely will be the one that wins it. So,
and the only thing that can happen there is that he's going to be closer to the pace. And when he goes to get Herbie D, and Herbie D fights, it could work out for Wildcat, because Wildcat's going to be coming last.
No, he's just going to drag back to last and make one run, and that's when he's been most effective. He won this race last year.
Yes, he did.
A Wildcat when it was on BC Cup Day, and we'll see how that goes, though. But both Randy and I agree that the 1, 2, and 6 are your horses. Randy's going to go to Herbie D. I'm going to go to the 1, Brass and Gold. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Friday night. What a great Friday night program. Lots of stakes action.
Should be fun.
Should be a lot of fun. Things get underway at 7 o'clock. Next time on screen will be a quick recap of our selections. Back in race number 1, I went to the 3-horse Locket. I went 3, 4, and 1. Race number 2, I went to the 1 Fear of the Cat for Sylvia Gregory and the Carmichaels. 1, 6, and 7 for me in the New Westminster. Race number 3, I went to the 3 Snuggles to defeat Ciuto Claire, and the 4 Texas Alley Cat. Race number 4, I went to the 1 Bluegrass Angus. 1, 4, and 3 for me in the Derby trial. Race number 5, I went to the 2 Tapacero. I'm going to go 2, 6, and 11. But probably the toughest race on the program is race number 5, as they are going. It's a tough group. 11 horses going 1.125. On to the 6th race. I went to the 6-horse. Flip through my pages here. Or probably 6 race. I went to the 8-horse. Nana's Buddy. I went 8, 5, and 4. Race number 7, I went to the 3 Ambleside Park, over the 1 Morning Coffee, and the 2 Sailing for the Sun. And the 8th and final, I went to the 1 Brass and Gold. 1, 2, 6 for me in the BC Cup Classic. On to Randy's picks. Here, Randy, there you go. Back in race number 1.
First race, I like Dawsonina to take them the whole way. Yes. So Dawsonina, Touching Promise, the 4, and number 3 Locket to pick up late. Second race, great race, one of the best of the day. I'm looking forward to seeing this race. Stand in command in the. And
3, 7, and 1.
3, 7, 1. Rock Concert. No telling how good he is. Third race. See You at Eau Claire. Number 2. I like her to win right back to beat Snuggles, who's coming from the clouds, and it looks like in a two-horse race.
Yeah.
And then in the tough Bluegrass Angus, right back to win his second straight and over Aditya.
Race 6.
Race 6, I like Nana's Buddy to come from off the pace. Race should set up perfectly for him. Crackdown can hang on for second maybe, and Flame Eternal as a long shot to spice up the exotics. In the 7th, Morning Coffee, the obvious favorite, looks tough over Sailing for the Sun, who's going to sit right off of her. And Ambleside Park might get lucky if those two hook up. So a good race. And in the last race, Herbie D and the Brass and Gold are my 2 top picks, but I could still see Wildcat coming from behind to pick it up. And
there you go. There are selections in our analysis for the Friday night program that starts at 7 o'clock. It's a quick reminder, we don't race Saturday or Sunday. We race next Monday. First race to go at 4 o'clock. We'd have 8 races on Monday. Starting at 4 o'clock. And Randy and I will be doing the Monday show here shortly, so that'll be up online soon. But on behalf of Randy, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill for Handicappers Corner.